Time to knock out our end of March garden tour. So per usual, you'll see the good and the bad. We'll start here with some exciting stuff. First of all, I don't really know what this is, but I've kind of just let it hang out. It's been hanging out with this volunteer tomato. So this thing planted itself, and it's doing, I'll show you my other tomatoes. This is doing way better than any tomato that I've actually planted. I'm struggling with tomatoes this season, which has been something I've been really successful with in the past, so maybe it's just a fluke. Our whiskey barrels here, not looking too hot, but they've still got some green. And you go in, start on this side. We have our, let's see, tags in here somewhere. Honey nut squash here, starting to make its way finally up the trellis. See, a bird did land on here. You can see it left its poop, but it snapped this right here. But I'm hoping it'll continue and just shoot off from some other places. I'll do the other side. Nope, I'll do it now. This is the other side. This is the honey boat delicata. This one is not going as quick as the other one, but that's okay. Hopefully we'll get there soon. Bad season with beans for me as well. Last season I was really successful, so I'll try again in the fall, but I had this whole thing planted with beans, and first round barely anything germinated. I think I planted them too soon. Second time they all germinated, but then they all just fried really quick. Another thing that you'll notice in the garden tour this time that wasn't here last time is this mulch. Last year I did the straw, and I'm not a fan of the way the straw looks. The wind just blows it away as well, but I'm just not a fan of how it looks, to be honest. So, and I prefer this darker color, but I went with the all natural so that there were no dyes in it. So this is what we're working with. This bed. So we have our watermelon here. We have one here and one here, planted from seeds at the exact same time. This guy is, I think, maybe getting too much heat. I threw in some random onions that I had left over. They're doing okay. You'll see a lot of death in here. I rescued a flat of petunias from Lowe's, I think it was. The whole flat was like $2, but not all of them made it. Like I was saying before I was interrupted with the kids, or from the kids, I rescued the whole flat of petunias for $2, and I was super excited because this bed was pretty bare. I just kind of threw them in here, and quite a few of them died. But even the ones that are dying or look dead, they're starting to get some new growth. So maybe this one, same, looks dead, but it's got some new growth. So we'll see. Still got a couple flowers. This is the first bloom on our cupcake Cosmo. How pretty is that? I grew these from seed. It's supposed to look like the cupcake wrappers. And we got some more buds. Same here. Same here. This is our cantaloupe, and look, it's doing its thing. Finally making some progress here. Excited about that. The rest that's in the bed is just random onions that I don't expect to live. We'll move on to this bed. What you'll see back here is my shade cloth. I put those over the beds when it's crazy hot. We're in the hundreds now, so every day is pretty much crazy hot, but I thought I'd take them off for you guys to see during the tour. These are the apricota Cosmos, and I grew those from seed as well. This was designated the hot pepper bed, but I didn't have nearly as many hot peppers as I did sweet peppers, so I decided hot peppers can have half the bed, and then I kind of did a little herb bed on the other half. So we've got some English thyme, some sage, rosemary. This is dill. It's definitely too hot for dill, but I'm leaving it, hoping it'll flower a little bit or something and attract pollinators. We'll see. This is Italian oregano. We've got some lemongrass in the back. And then the rest here are spicy peppers. Jalapenos, Hungarian hot wax. This is the first time growing this one. This one is called Spicy Jane. We just harvested one of these. It was like a reddish orange color. And I'm super excited to get some Sugar Rush peach peppers. That's what all of these are. First time growing those. All right. Now, on to the corner of death. This was the pollinator patch. You can see it's not providing for anybody these days. It's just too dang hot, and I don't have irrigation over here. So if I don't come out twice a day in this 100-degree weather, these guys aren't going to survive even with the shade cloth. So just letting this dry out a bit more. I'll remove it and start over. This whole area I just actually reset. This is where we had our older tomatoes. I kind of let them go. They were on this back trellis. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but this back trellis. But I reset this whole area. My goal was to hurry up and get it done while I was cooking dinner on the grill yesterday, and I was successful. So I pulled out the old plants, put down some fertilizer, some compost, and then mulched the whole area, because this gets the most sun, that corner, and this gets the most sun in the summer. So I wanted to protect the soil. I don't have anything planted in there yet, but I did start a bunch of different pumpkins inside. I do have pumpkins in a different area, but I figured since I have this bare space, I wouldn't be losing anything by planting some pumpkins. And who knows, maybe we'll have some fun pumpkins to decorate for Halloween, and I don't know, maybe try to cook with them or whatnot. So I have those. Once they sprout and get a couple leaves, I'll put them out here. I have a hard time planting seeds directly out here because of the birds, and you'll see pockets throughout the whole garden of where the birds dig. Here's one. You can see the birds dig for the worms, so they just pull my seedlings out right away. I'm going to back up just a little bit to this bed that you see right when you come in. I dubbed this the berry bed, and I'm gonna have to admit, I don't know that I'm very good with berries. I have not been successful. This is my second go around with blueberry plants, and as soon as they start getting some good fresh leaves like this, they end up falling off and looking like this. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or if they're just trying to get established. I don't really know. I see other people's videos and they're getting tons of strawberries right now, and mine just look so puny. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have some purple Prince zinnias, one there and one there. They have not bloomed yet, but it looks like they're going to. I grew those from seed as well. We've got some garlic chives in here, some lavender. I'll take you back this way. So here's that area that I'm just gonna kind of do a free-for-all, maybe put some pumpkins and flowers in, who knows. I told you guys in one of my shorts that the cucumbers on the end and then the spaghetti squash in the center, they're doing pretty good filling out the trellis. It's finally made its way to the top. We'll see if it starts coming over the other end. But I was having a problem with pollination, and I had a problem last season. Actually, every time that I have gardened, I've had issues with squash and zucchini, the pollination. And last year I guessed that it was because I didn't have enough flowers and wasn't bringing in enough of the pollinators. So this year I wanted to add more flowers in, which I have a bunch more started inside. I'm just waiting until they get a little bigger to bring them outside. But I did put some marigolds in these little baskets just to try and see if I can help with pollination. But this is not really working for me. As you can see, the birds are pulling this apart. They're pulling the flowers out, tipping them over. It's just, I don't really know. It's this big old tree right here in the neighbor's yard that they hang out in, and they just look down on the garden. I don't know if we'll get any cucumbers. We have one kind, this is Muncher cucumber, this is Bait Alpha, I believe, on this side. They're both about the same height, but I wonder if it's getting too hot already for them to produce. I'm not really sure. The spaghetti squash, when I showed you guys last, it wasn't this big, and I didn't have anything producing or showing on it, but look, we've got one. I have to look up because I'm not sure how big it's supposed to get, but we've got one. So that's pretty exciting. Continue through here. I threw in some other random marigolds, but you'll see the birds dig the holes and dig them right out. So we'll see. We got a ground cherry. This guy's been struggling. Same with my tomatoes. They've been struggling all season, so I don't even know if they're really going to produce. But that's okay. We get a second round of tomatoes here coming up in a month or so, so I've already got some started inside. This is parsley. It is time for my parsley to bolt, but it's doing pretty good. So I'm just letting it hang out. On the back wall, we've got our indeterminate tomatoes, and look at this. These were planted back in December. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but they're probably about 2.5 feet tall. And they don't look like they're going to be doing anything good for me. The only one that looks like it has some promise is this San Marzano right here. But look at this. All of these were planted at the same time. This is a San Marzano, and this is a San Marzano. So obviously there's some stunting going on, and I think that's happening with all the tomatoes. My Romas aren't doing great, but they're not doing as bad as the other ones. They are producing. So we've got some Romas in here. This one doesn't look so hot at the top, but he looks great down here. Same here. The birds harvested one of these off here for me. Yeah, not looking hot, but like I said, I have another round inside. We've got some basil back here. This is the pumpkin area I was telling you about. This is some catnip right here. There's 3 kinds of small pumpkins here: sugar pie pumpkins, baby boo pumpkins, and Jack-B Little pumpkins. So they're kind of mixed in, and they've made their way all the way to here. So I'm just gonna kind of let them spread out and see what we can get, and I'm gonna do the same over there. Just let them sprawl down. I think that'll look cool. We'll see. Our sunflower wall, we still got all our trash and mess back there, so don't mind that. But our sunflower wall, the last time you guys saw, I believe these were just itty bitty babies, and now I don't know how good you can see, but some of these are almost as tall as me. You see that? So this is the sunflower wall. I guess I don't really know a good angle, but they're all doing really good. And I don't see a sunflower head in there yet, so they might still be growing, which is exciting. So coming off of the tomatoes, we've got our sweet pepper bed. And let me tell you, I did not think sweet peppers were going to be my thing this season, which made me sad because I love peppers. But let me tell you, we have bounced back, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this bed. Look at this. Whole bed. So the ones that I overwintered, boom, bounced back, producing. The first round of seeds that I started I killed 90% of them. The ones that I didn't kill, boom, looking good. And then the second round I did have almost caught up. Look at these guys. Now these are all mystery sweet peppers because, well, I dropped my whole container that had them all labeled and they all spilled out everywhere. Actually, the wind did that for me. So they're all mystery, but what I do know is they're all sweet peppers, which is fine with me. One that I'm excited about is the Pippin's Golden Honey. And look, already producing. Look at this. This is my first time growing these, and I'm super excited. But yeah, this bed has really impressed me because this was the most devastating bed of the season, and it is probably the best looking bed I've got right now. You can see this is the biggest bell pepper I've grown. Got a nice sized bell pepper here. That's a green bell pepper, or yellow bell pepper I mean, and this is a red bell pepper. See them down here. This petunia doing its thing and hanging out. Purple flowers look pretty. When I threw some random seeds in the ground to kind of pick up my gardening mood from the defeat from the pepper situation, one of the ones that I threw in were some bush variety cucumbers. I've never grown those before, but I put one in the corner here and one in the corner there, and they're both doing great. And I've actually just kind of wrapped them a little bit around this PVC pipe that I use for the shade cloth, and I feel like they're doing better than the ones that were in the ground a lot longer. So those are there. And then this is the last bed of these metal beds. This is where we had our cabbage and Swiss chard. Swiss chard's looking kind of not so hot these days. Definitely not harvesting any of it. It's going to be too bitter at this time, but you can grow Swiss chard basically in any temperature. This stuff hangs out, and I just like the green, so that's why it's been in for so long. But I think it is time to kind of retire it, so that'll probably be gone by the next garden tour. But this bed is now the squash bed, the summer squash and zucchini bed. I do have some these are Chinese long beans that Nani gave us that she saved from her house, so we've got those in here randomly in the center. And then on this front side, this one right here is the white scallop squash. These four are straight neck yellow squash. Look at, nothing producing yet, but we do have females, which is exciting. We have a golden zucchini here. Doesn't look like it's producing anything yet. And then we'll walk around to this corner, and there's no label on here, but I'm pretty sure this is the long white zucchini. I could be wrong though, so that might be a mystery one for us. But this bed looks pretty good. We've got our fig tree producing lots of figs. Doing great. And then this is our sweet potato bed and okra. The okra is taking a lot longer to do something than I thought. This is my first time growing okra, and I'm actually growing it mainly because of how pretty I think the flowers are. And then the rest that's in here are the sweet potatoes. And I think the last garden tour I was telling you guys, I don't think they're doing so hot, but now that it's warmed up a bit, they're looking great. And they've actually climbed all the way up to the top of the fence, and I'm just gonna let them keep doing that. Now we are back to the front of the garden. This, I told you on that side we had no luck with beans. This one was our bean bed too. Same thing. Look at, they just don't look, I don't know. We've got a few beans on here, but for the most part it's just wasn't the season, I guess. So I will probably cut these down, let the roots stay in to kind of feed the soil. This is my last bed that needs to be mulched. I have more mulch, I just haven't put it down yet. But this bed needs to be reset. And I just noticed, as I was showing you guys the random beans, we've got a baby tomato plant here growing. We also have another tomato plant growing right here. Definitely didn't plant those. Those must have been, oh, we got some more here. There must have been a tomato that got thrown. Oh, look at that. Some more tomato plants. Maybe they'll do something for me. Maybe I will end up with some tomatoes this season, so I'll probably leave those in. Get rid of the beans, mulch that area. But yeah, guys, I feel like we've got a lot more going on in here, more green than we did during the last garden tour. This bed is just so impressive to me. I hope the camera captures it. But oh, I forgot to tell you about the eggplant too. We have eggplant here. Oh, I think we have a baby eggplant growing. We do. Why does he look like that? He looks all beat up. We'll see how he continues, I guess. He looks pretty beat up, but I didn't even know he was there. But yeah, we've got one eggplant here, and then this is that other cucumber. But I just love I guess I feel so accomplished by it because it was my biggest bed of defeat, and now I just think it looks great. Now the back looks kind of sparse, but that's all right. I don't mind the whole like pull out, refresh, reset. It's kind of refreshing to me. Kind of like a blank slate. So this has my entire gardening journey, I guess. This has had tomatoes. So it's really refreshing to kind of see it blank like that and be able to envision something else there, like, I don't know, the pumpkins or flowers or whatnot. So it's kind of like liberating to see it refreshed and be able to repurpose it. This bed will get some extra love in too, and of course I can plant stuff there. But I've got a lot more flowers started inside because I need to bring more pollinators in. But yeah, guys, that is it. That is going to conclude the end of May spring garden tour.